What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more on the HermitPack. Now, I've been doing a ton of work off camera because last episode, we kind of left everything where it was partially finished, hadn't really been connected yet, and was just a little bit of a mess. So I went off camera, did a bunch of work to kind of complete everything, kind of bring it all together and get it running. So first things first, this is the new canola farm, relatively similar to what we left off with, but the farm 9x9 area is actually in front of the farmer. So you can see we have the farmer right up against the house there. And last time I had the farmer right in the center. I thought it was like the DrRageHard farming station. It had basically the same area. So I just put it in the center. I didn't even think about it and it was incorrect. So the 9x9 area has now been fixed. And coincidentally, our house is also 9 wide. So I basically put this 1 block away from the house and it lines up almost perfectly with it. I fenced it in because I was having some issues with things just kind of trampling the crops. So now everything should be good over here. We're getting a very steady supply of canola. We've got a nice power setup going. So today we're actually going to be using some of that power that we are generating, actually a fair bit of it. But there are a couple things I want to show you guys before we get into using that power. So if we come down here, I now have all of the machines in here, and I say all of them when there's really only 3. We've got the painter right up here. We've got then the sag mill and alloy smelter here. I have the conduits running up through the walls here. I basically just put down, the main reason I made the painter was just because I didn't really want to use the laser to bring the energy up here like I had thought. It's just easier to do this because it can basically come straight up the wall. And eventually I might mix it up a little bit depending on how the house changes. But for now, this area should be big enough to hold the machines that we need. This chest right here is also going to relate to what we're doing today. But if you guys want to see kind of how many ores that I have gotten off camera, this is what we're working with. I just went on a mining trip, so that's what's in my inventory right now. But we've got a lot of iron. We've got like 4 stacks of iron ore. So that'll translate to at least 8 stacks depending on how we process it. So pretty happy with that. Then if we go downstairs, nothing changed really on this floor, but down here, this setup, it looks a lot nicer down here, at least I think it does. We've got a lot of hidden conduits in here. We've got the item conduits running right over here. We've got the energy running in this side and then up this side so they can go straight up. And that's basically it. I think it looks pretty nice down here. Now, one thing that does bother me, and this is a very slight complaint, is I am pretty sure the oil generators run whether or not anything needs power. Now, I'm not 100% sure. It's hard for me to see if the farmer outside is running, and that's why it's burning through some of the oil. But as far as I know, this will just burn oil even if it's got full internal power and doesn't need it to go anywhere. So basically, if we're not using this power, we're kind of wasting it. I don't even know if it can burn 72 millibuckets, and that might be why it's not running. But I might have also just answered my own question. Actually, yeah, okay, so I just answered my own question. It's just our farm is always going, so it seems like this actually can store its oil. We just don't have, it doesn't really have enough of a buffer right now in terms of energy. But yeah, so we'll just negate that complaint right now. But the whole power system is going perfectly. We've got the 1 million buffer over here for RF. Everything's going good with that. So today we're going to be setting up a quarry. Now there really aren't a ton of early game quarries that are given in this mod pack. But one of them that might kind of elude you if you don't know about it is that you can use the rftools block builder to work as a quarry if you add a card upgrade to it. So if we search up the builder, it's relatively cheap to make. Now there is the dimension builder, and that's why this one is called the builder block. I don't really know. I would just call it the builder. I don't really know why it's called a builder block. And I hear something on fire. I think there's a blaze outside. That is not what we want to hear because this house could burn down in an instant. So we're just going to try and stay away from that opening right there. But we're going to be setting up the builder today. Now this is actually a very, very, very cool quarry that you can set up because it's really fast. It has the ability to void a lot of blocks like cobblestone, dirt, things that you might not want. And it also fills the area that it's working in back with dirt so you don't get that giant hole in the world. So we're going to be setting this up relatively cheap. And then we're also going to set up some actually additions ore processing. I know we could use the DrRageHard ore processing, but the actually additions one is kind of like a horizontal move because each of them is going to kind of double your ore. But the actually additions one requires no upgrades and is able to process 2 different types at the same time. So I thought I'd give it a little bit of a try. Ooh, there's the blaze right there. We see him. Okay, that's not good. That's very bad. If he starts shooting at me, that is very, very bad. And I really don't want to see that on camera because that would just be, oh my gosh. Okay, is there any way for us to sneak upstairs? I don't really think there is. Okay, well, we're gonna try and get outside and fight this guy. Oh, there's so many guys outside though. Okay, we're gonna get upstairs. He's not gonna see us, and we're gonna sleep. And we're not gonna burn the house down. Also, as you can see in the chat, my bronze pickaxe finally got to legendary. I don't actually know what comes after legendary, but oh no. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Ready? You guys ready for this? Where is he? Where is he at? What? Where'd he go? We're not coming down here to fight the creeper. We're coming down here to kill the blaze. I need to get him away from the house, though. This is the first time since my house burned down that I have had a blaze spawn around here. So where? Oh, he's right there. He's right in front of the house. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Okay, get away from the house. Get over here. Okay, he's coming. We got to make sure he's always faced in this direction because if he faces the house and misfires, it's going to be bad news. Come over here. I'm trying to, come on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I don't know how many hits it takes to kill him. Okay, there we go. Problem solved. That was freaking me out a little bit. Okay, so now we can get back to the episode. So the first thing we're going to do is make the builder. Now it requires an ender pearl, which is perfectly fine. We've got that one right in here. And I am going to dump off some of this junk that we have that we're really not going to need right now. That should be all of it. So we can go back to this. So we need to get our bricks, which should be in here. Perfectly fine with that. That should be more than enough. And then we have our redstone. We should already have that on us. And then lastly, we need to make the machine frame, which is 2 lapis, 4 iron, and 2 gold nuggets. So we can grab that out of here. And run it a little bit low on iron. I've been using a fair bit of it for the actually addition setups, but that's no problem because we're about to get a... What? Oh, this got put in the center again. Thank you. Someone told me the mod. I keep forgetting the name of the mod, but something is putting that there, and it's a mod, and it's a bad mod, clearly. So, oh my god. Every time. Okay, we're just going to not put that there. Okay, so there we go. We should have enough for that. So we now have the builder. Now we need to put the diamonds into use because we need to go over to the quarry card. Now there's a lot of them over here because you've got the, basically the shaped card quarry is going to be the basic card for this. Then you've got the silk quarry, the fortune quarry, the clearing silk quarry, and the clearing fortune quarry. So we're just going to be worrying about the regular one right now. The other ones require that you have some dimensional shards and another star for this one. They also, if you hold shift, you can see that they use more RF per block. So this one uses 600, this one 900, and the one we're going to use today is only 300. Eventually, if we want to infuse this, which I think we will until we get to the void miner, it'll make it even more effective, but we're just going to be using this one today. So it requires a shape card, which again requires some bricks, redstone, iron, and then 4 paper, and that is why I have the reeds on me right now. We're going to need some more reeds later, I think, and so we need that iron, and we've got the bricks. So we should be good to craft this central one. And then we need to make what is around it, which is basically why I needed the diamonds. It's the diamond pickaxe and diamond shovel. Other than that, the thing is actually relatively cheap to make. So we've got the diamonds here. Did something break this out? Oh, something broke that out there. Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to craft those 2, and then we'll have the card. Now, this thing is really cool, and you guys will understand why when we set this up. Oh, okay, we didn't put... I was like, no, I don't want those. There we go. And we're missing the 2 iron. Okay, so we'll grab this out here. And there we go. So we now have the shape card quarry. Now, we can carry this upstairs. We do need a chest that we can have all this stuff go into. We'll make it out of the birch wood. And there we go. So we have the chest. And we're going to make a lever to flip it on with. Other than that, we're all good to go for setting this up. We just need to wire some power to it. So there we go. So we're going to set this up upstairs. Now, this is the part that I find really, really cool. Now, I'm going to set it up over in this kind of corner. It's going to take up a fair bit of space once I end up setting the rest of this up. But we're going to break this chest, and all that stuff is going to spill out. And, oh, that is so much stuff. I'll put the chest. I'll end up putting We'll put the birch chest down over here for a second and just kind of dump some of these ores in it. And grab the rest of this. Okay. So we're going to put the block builder down right there. Bob the Builder. Great show when I was a kid. Great show. But we're going to put down energy conduits now. And I guess actually, I'm trying to think of how I want to run power to this. It's going to be a little bit awkward because of how I was planning on doing the setup. I guess we can do it like this. Okay, so we'll break this and we'll put it right here. So we're going to run power to this like that, and we'll just put it straight in there. It should very slowly fill up. It's got a very, very large internal buffer. And right now there's a lot of different stuff in here that we can't really click on. So the only thing that's really selected is builder is at the southwest corner. Now that basically means of the area that it's going to build in and eventually for us mine. But until we put in this quarry card, it's not actually a quarry. So we're going to take this quarry card. Now you could manually do stuff where you're going to like click on this or shift right click and it'll select this. And then you start selecting the areas around it for it to mine in. But what we're going to do is we are going to right click in the air. And this is going to allow us to kind of get some options in here as to what to set up for this. So we want it to be a solid box. There are a couple options. Now we have the ability to select things to void, and we are going to void all of this. Now I know we're not going to get all of this, but we might as well just void it anyway. We're not going to get cobble, or we're not going to get regular stone because it's not going to be silk touching stuff. It might actually be beneficial for me not to void sand on the off chance we get it, just because I use sand for building. So we'll do that. Now we can set the dimensions of the quarry, so we can start off with a very simple 10 by... Let's do a 20 by 20. Not too big. The maximum is like 512 by 512 by 256, which of course is going to be the height. But for the height for this, we will set it at, let's say like 70. Obviously, that's a very rough estimate, but that's perfectly fine. It should not be able to do anything once it gets down to bedrock. But the reason we're doing this is because now we're going to use the offset. So if we click off this, we can take a look and say, okay, we are at Y73. This is slightly higher than we want to start mining with. And we also don't want to mine in this area. We want to set it off to somewhere far away, probably over there where it's not going to be in the water. There is a fair bit of land over there. So what we're going to say is, if we look, we can see that moving in this direction is going to change our Z value in the positive direction. Or no, negative direction. So moving that way is negative in the Z direction. So we can come in here and, oh, no, okay, so we want to click right there. So we're going to change it in the Z direction, and that should be, oh gosh, which one of these is the Z direction? I think this should be the Z direction. I assume it goes X, Y, and Z. But so if we're going to do that, we're going to set the offset to be negative 100. Now we should be able to do that, and what that'll do is basically say this would normally be at, in this case, the southwest corner of it. It's going to take where this block would register, and it's going to move it. So it's going to say, take this and move it negative 100 blocks in the Z direction. So the quarry will start mining over there. It should start mining over there. So hopefully I don't screw this up or this base is going down. So we're going to put this there. Now it's going to start in the air a little bit. So I guess we should actually change the Y coordinates. So we're going to say -5. We can do -6. Perfectly fine. Now we can install it in there, and now it is good to go. So what we need to do is take a chest and put it above this. You can see that it says mode normal quarry. So we can put that up there. Now we don't even need to be able to access this chest right now because we're going to be pulling out of it. And we can take a lever and we can throw it down. Oh, well that's unfortunate that we have the power going in there. So it's a little bit awkward setting a lever up here. You know what? I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to kind of reorganize this a little bit just because we're a little bit cramped on space. I can do the setup. I've done it before when I was doing a test world on this, but I have no idea how to do it right now. So just give me 1 second. I will fix this and then we'll jump back. Okay, guys. So I'm just going to be setting it up here for now. Eventually, I will just wire through the wall some of these conduits to put it behind this or below this. It really doesn't matter right now. And then we'll be setting up, and obviously right now I could just perfectly wire it here, but the way I'm going to be doing the setup with the Actually Additions ore processing is what's going to cause a little bit of an issue with some of the wiring and kind of optimizing it. But for now, this should be good to go. Now, we really just need to hope right now that when I flip this thing on, it doesn't just like mine this whole base, or else I'll die inside a little bit. But let's flick it on. Okay, so we can see that it actually is mining. I guess I didn't add enough. It's mining that right over there. You can see it all just turned to dirt. But luckily, that is not in our base, so it could be worse. Now, if we look in here, you can see how much it just mined for us. So we now have all of this stuff just got instantly mined. And the reason that it's not continuing is it is out of power. So we just got a ton of different stuff for the speed. It basically goes as fast as you can put in power to it. So I think that's pretty darn crazy. Now, I don't know if I messed up the levels a little bit because it doesn't look like it did on the top a full 20 by 20 area that it replaced with dirt. That should be the way it works because I've tested it out before, but I don't know if it goes up and down and up and down. We can try wiring this power to it again and flick it back on. We don't have a ton of power in here, but it should be able to go now. Very slowly. And we should be able to see, okay, so it's getting marble for us. It's getting some coal for us. Now, unfortunately, we can't really ditch most of this stuff. We're going to have to dump it. Do they have the trash can in here? Yeah, they do. Okay, so we can use something like a trash can and just use a conduit to get rid of some of this junk. But, of course, we're getting stuff like clay. We're getting a ton of sandstone. We got a cactus. Okay, so you can see, yeah, so over there, it replaced the cactus top with dirt, which is kind of interesting. But you can use this for a lot of different stuff, and it does a really, really great job. So now we're getting a couple of these ores. It's really not the main portion that we're getting from this, oddly enough. But we can start using some of these and setting up the ore processing for all of this. So we can come down and start doing some actually additions work. Now, what we kind of have to do is transform some more iron and redstone because I don't think we have enough of it right now. So I think we're going to make a block of each like this, and we might have enough redstone. I don't actually know, but we're going to transform 2 blocks. And while we're doing that, we are going to come up here, grab out some of this iron, and we're going to let it process in this just because we might need a little bit extra. Now this is off. It's going to take forever to fill up, but that's perfectly fine. So we can head downstairs. Now this should be charging down here. Yes, this is fully charged. This should be perfectly fine to run. There we go. Okay, it didn't even use much power. It's only 2 blocks. Okay, so we have these. We can turn them back into their regular forms. And we are going to be making the double crusher and double furnace. So that's what I was talking about. They have this name. One's called the powered furnace, but if you search up double, it comes up because it was previously the double furnace. And these basically, imagine like when you're using mechanism processing, which might add, we will get to that eventually. Obviously, that's going to be one of the few ways to do 3 times, if not the only way, and more. But we're not going to get there right yet. We'll do that very soon once we expand a little bit. But we're going to set these up, and they basically are going to require that you use 2 crushers, and this one 2 furnaces, with a bunch of basic coils. So I think we're going to need, this one is going to be 2 basic coils, and that should be it. And then this one is going to be, I want to say 6 basic coils, 2 for each crusher, and then 2 for each advanced coil. So we're going to need a total of, was it 8 basic coils? So that's going to be the first thing we're going to make. That's why I needed to get some more black quartz. We should have enough in here right now, but I just wanted to be sure. So we'll grab out the gold because we're going to need we're going to need a fair bit of nuggets for today's work, and that should be good. So we're actually probably going to have to grab that iron too. Take this, and I don't know why I only grabbed out half of it, but we can have this start running in here. Now, obviously, this, like I said, we could use for the ore processing, but I want to mix it up a little bit, and also adding the upgrades to this to make it comparable is kind of expensive when you get into like the octadic capacitor and stuff. The double layer is not super expensive, but even so, I think we'll stick with that. And then I think we need maybe like 3 more because we're going to need to make the iron casings. So we'll wait for that. There we go. And we'll grab some cobble from down here because we need to make the furnaces. Okay, so we should be good to make. We'll start with the powered furnace. So this one's just going to require the 2 basic ones. So 1, 2, and 2 furnaces. Huh. It almost let me pull it. Oh man, now I made so many furnaces. I do not need that many furnaces. Whatever. So what else do we need for this? Iron casings. We'll make that. And we now have our... What? Where'd the... What? What? Did I not make the basic... I thought I... What? Oh, they disappeared in here and then didn't show up for a second. Okay. That was so weird. Okay, so we now have the powered furnace. We'll throw this down upstairs. Now, it doesn't matter where this one gets put down. We can either put it down... We can put it down actually right here if we wanted to. If we want to keep it more compact, we can put it down... I guess we could put them both down right up here and it'd be perfectly fine. So we'll put this down. Actually, we'll move this over one. Put it down right here. And then we will put down the other one over here. Just going to grab this iron real quick and we can move this over to that to continue processing. And now we can finish making off the crusher. So the crusher one is a little bit more annoying to make. We need some flint from over here and we actually are going to need some more Restonia. So we're going to need to make this into block form and transform it downstairs because the coils require a fair bit. So let's do that. There we go. I forgot that we needed 8 coils for this, and that actually uses, that's basically the only use of Restonia we have for this whole system. And then what else was I going to grab? I was going to grab something else. Oh, flint. That's right. We need the flint. Okay, so finish this off over here. We need 8 of these. Oh, we only have enough Restonia for 7. You know what? We'll transform. I guess we might as well do a couple more blocks of it. Why not? Undershot it by 4. That's unfortunate. Okay, last time we're going to have to use this today. Okay, we're done with the transforming of blocks to actually additions versions. Super fun, I know. Okay, so we'll do 1 more of these, and we will have enough for that. Then we need to turn 2 of these with the nuggets. I think it is only 2, right? Yeah, so it's only 2 that we need to turn with the nuggets. And there we go. And we should be good to craft the rest of this. Iron casing, we're missing out on black quartz. Unfortunately, we can't really process this other than what we're doing right here as far as I know. Oh, we can actually process it, yeah. So I'll only make 1 of these since that's all that we should need. Oh, no, so we're going to need 3 of them. So we'll process those there. Finish off the iron casing. Need sticks, which we can easily make. I made sure I got wood this time before actually starting the recording, because that has been a huge problem the last couple of times, since a lot of the actually addition stuff uses a fair bit of wood. So grab that out. Should be good to go now. So we just need to make both these crushers, which means we need these 2. And there we go. Make both of those. And those must have gotten put over there. Haha, I didn't even have to see them. I just grabbed them out. There we go. Double crusher. Nice. So we'll grab the rest of this stuff out. And we can finish setting this up. So we'll put this right up here. They look pretty cool. And the only unfortunate thing is they don't auto output into each other. And that is what has caused this whole kind of conundrum about where to set things up. This one fully powered. This one getting power slowly. This one going to require a fair bit of power to fill up. But what we can do is basically put one of these here and one of them... we'll just click on that block. And then mine this one out. So what we're going to do is, this is the first time I've actually set up a multi-channel Ender IO conduit system. So what we're going to do here, and I actually, you know what, we'll do this in a second because we need a filter. We do need a filter. It can be the very simple one, so we don't need a slice and splice. But we can do a basic item filter. That's what we need the paper for. We need a little bit of iron, which will be right up here. And we're going to use this to make sure that only certain things get pulled out of this, or should I say put into one of these. So we're going to do the chest. Should have the wood on us. Do we? No, we have it over here. Okay, so we'll make another chest. Even though we should have an extra one upstairs. But we'll do that. Finish the hopper for this. Gonna have to make a little bit of extra paper. Where did the reeds get thrown? Right in there. Okay. So a little bit of paper left over. And there we go. So we got the basic item filter. This should be roughly enough to put in most of the ores that we need to process. It probably isn't going to be all of them. We only have 6 options with this, but then they'll go in here. You can process 2 at a time. You have the option to do auto split, which we are not going to do. Again, auto split. We'll put them in here, and then they will go back into, I would say, this chest, but this thing has so much junk in it that until I put a trash can, probably right here, I'll probably end up putting a trash can right there to dump all this junk. Then we're going to have to live with it. So what we can do is go to this one, and this one is going to be in and out, and the extract mode is going to have a filter on this, so it is only going to pull out the ores that we want. So we're going to dump them in here. We're going to get 1 of each ore out. We do we want, we want the black processed, the black quartz ore processed, and we only have an option for, it was only 6, right? If we switch over. Nope. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's only 5. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, we want that. We want the iron. We want the gold. We want the tin, the copper, and there is all 5 that we can process. So we're going to be left with some silver ore, some nickel ore. Not really using those right now. The yellowite is going to be fine to leave for now. But we'll just do this in general right now. There are some other ways that we could do it. But for now, we'll stick with the basic one. We can get an advanced one later if we really wanted to, or just do a little bit of better filtering before it even goes into this. We're going to come over here, go to the extract again. Why does it not want to flip over? There we go. So we'll put in the copper ore, tin ore, this, and this. Now this is getting whitelisted right now because we don't want any of the other stuff leaving this. It is we'll leave it in redstone mode for now, and we'll leave it on green because we don't want the stuff coming out just yet. Then over here, we are going to put it into in and out, and this is going to be set on insert for the green channel because that is what's getting pulled out of the other one. And then extract is going to, we'll turn redstone off, and we'll put it on the brown channel. And if you notice, you can see it right on here that it shows kind of the channel going in and out. Now this one over here is going to go to in and out. It's going to be insert on brown channel, extract on blue channel, and active without signal. And then over here, the insert is going to be on the blue channel, and it should be good to go now the minute we turn the redstone off on this. So we'll dump some of each of these in here just to make sure it actually works with them. Then we'll come over, go to this one, turn that off, and you can see that this is now running, and it'll put a second one in there. That'll be running too. It should finish with this. That should automatically get put over there. Then this should automatically get put back in here. And it might get a little bit filled up into here, which is why we need to process this stuff a little bit better. I don't know if we might be able to use, I wonder if you can automatically input stuff into stuff like this small storage crate. Because if we can, I'm just going to put one of those up here. But I'll have to test that off camera, because if we can do that, that would be great. Because then I can just kind of leave all this stuff, all the junk in there, and it'll be perfectly fine. And we can just filter out certain things like marble and alabaster, which I really don't use. But it's a little bit loud, as you can probably hear. But it does a great job of processing it. It's pretty fun, I think, to set it up with these different channels. I've never really used those before. Made me feel pretty smart. But this is filling up, so eventually we'd be able to flip it on. It would mine out that entire area. Then we just set the offset 20 more in the direction, so it moves another 20 over, and let it run again, and just keep doing that. We never have to tear up the land near our base, and we never even have to leave our base or have wireless item transmission, because it's already doing it wirelessly from where it's quarrying it to where it's even putting the items into a chest. So I think this is very underrated. I've never really seen it used before, but I didn't really see any other early ways of quarrying in this pack, so kind of had to resort to this. But I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Some things that I wanted to address before we hop off camera, though, and I will go downstairs because it's a little bit loud upstairs. But I know I've been doing a bunch of HermitPack episodes. I've really been enjoying playing on this. It's really been refreshing, considering I don't play on mod packs very often. Been having a ton of fun. It's been really easy to prep for episodes, all of that, and you guys seem to be enjoying it, so that's why we've taken a little bit of a break from the other series. Those will be coming back. The next episode should be a Surviving with Botania series, but I am going back to school soon, and I've been a little busy. It was my birthday on the 10th, so I was doing stuff that day. I was doing stuff the day after, so it was kind of preventing me from recording. Hopefully you guys understand, but we should be getting back on track now and bringing out the other series. But let me know what you guys think of the series in general. I know you've really seemed to enjoy it, but always let me know with feedback in the comments. Again, hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. If you found it entertaining, please feel free to give it a like, as it does help me out a lot. And I will talk to you guys later.